Camping diorama at the lake. This is Modbrix set 107459. It was released in November 2024 for about €50. This construction block set consists of 1192 pieces, which are compatible to bricks by other building blocks companies like Lego, Kobe, Mega, and so on. On January 1st, 2025, the original Modbrix store shut down. It closed its gates forever because, it got previously acquired by Bluebricks, and from now on you have to buy all the Modbrix stuff directly from Bluebricks. And I just want to give the original Modbrix store a little farewell, and because of this, I'm going to show you today this set here. As you can see, it depicts a little scene with a caravan at a lake, and here are a lot of camping utensils, and we get to see a bit of nature, a tree, grass, and all these plants here in the lake. Like typical for Modbrix sets, nowadays at least, it comes in one of those colorless Bluebricks boxes, but it's also equipped with this little paper sleeve here, which at least gives us an impression of what our set is going to look like once we have assembled it. So you have seen the front cover. We also get to see a bit on the sides. And this is what the back of the sleeve looks like. So we get to see the completed set from different angles. So here from the back side, here from above, and you can also see that we will be able to open the caravan to have a look inside. But now, let's open the box. Inside the box we find our pieces in unnumbered bags. This set doesn't come with individual building sections, and this means that the pieces aren't pre-sorted to any building sections. They come unsorted in unnumbered bags. Besides the pieces in the bags, we also got one piece which didn't come in a bag. It's this huge plate here. And it's not a base plate, it really is a plate. That's cool. And the quality seems to be absolutely alright. It's perfectly plain. That's cool. The only downside is that some of the studs, but I think only 4, come with ugly injection holes. Here, have a look. There are these crater-like holes here. Those are not injection points, those are really injection holes. But all in all, the plate is absolutely fine. The other pieces, those are the typical pieces which come with Bluebricks special sets. So most of them come with those really ugly injection holes, but at least there are some pieces which have rather fine markings. Here you can see that this is an injection point and not a crater-like hole. But most of the pieces really have these huge ugly holes. I hope that once we have completed the build that most of these ugly marks are simply covered. But we will see. So it's a Modbrix set, and this also means that it doesn't come with printed building instructions. We have to download a PDF file from the Bluebricks website, which I already have done here. Well, this is a set designed by by Martin F. And as far as I can remember, I haven't built a set by that designer before, so I'm really looking forward to build the set here. Normally I always recommend with an amount of bricks over 1000 to sort all the pieces by type before you start with the build, because this just speeds up the building process. Then you don't have to search for an individual brick at each building step. But I'm not sure that if I'm going to do that here. I'm just a bit lazy today, and I have a huge table, so I think I should be able to spread all the pieces out on the table here without pre-sorting them. Well, now I'm going to start with step 1. Oh, well, I already have done that. We just have to place this huge plate. Let's say I'm going to start with step 2. And I will come back to you as soon as I see something interesting or something simply doesn't work as shown in the instructions. Step 4. While placing all these black plates here, I discovered this little piece of paper here, which it seems came in the bag with the bigger plates. And yeah, it contains a QR code which leads us to the instructions if you don't want to type in the Modbrix website's URL manually. Step 17. The angle used here in the instructions is a bit unfortunate. It looks like we have to place a lot of 2x2 tiles, but when we have a look here at this little inventory box, we can see that we only have to place one of them. All these tiles down here are supposed to be 2x3 tiles. Step 18. One of those 2x3 tiles which we are using here is really scratched. Have a look at this one here. I paid attention that this is the last one to place, so I can place it down here in the corner, and I hope that there it will be a bit less visible than when I place it in the middle of the build, but nevertheless, this is quite annoying. This tile simply doesn't look good with those white scratches on it. Step 26. So far we have built the base, and it's really astonishing how sturdy this thing is. You could play tennis with it without any problem. It's really amazing. Step 35. Have a look here at all those tiles. They are supposed to be in the same color, but you can clearly see that they come in different shades of green. Yeah, the color quality clearly isn't the best. Step 40. I have placed more of the tiles now, and I think even on camera it's quite visible that the colors have big differences in their shade, or at least the green. Step 67. It's never fun to assemble brick-built trees, but I have to admit that this one looks really cool. I think it was worth the trouble. Got so many leaves and it's so green. It really looks cool, a bit like an apple tree. Step 76. In this step we are using a piece which doesn't come with Lego sets, for example. It's a single stud, a hollow stud, which is used to inverse the building direction. It's one of the few pieces which Modbrix uses in their sets, which isn't a standard piece. They almost exclusively use standard pieces, but this piece here is an exception. They use it in almost all of their sets. And since Modbrix is nowadays part of Bluebrix, Modbrix sets also sometimes come with these pieces now. But it's not only Bluebrix who use these pieces. I think, for example, Kobe uses them too. Kobe is especially famous for using these pieces here. So, what is used for? Let's say we have a plate, and on one side the plate comes, of course, with studs, and on the other side with anti-studs. And what we want to do now is to turn these anti-studs into normal studs. And for this, we can use those hollow studs. So, we already have a little segment here where I have placed 3 of those studs, and now I want to place a 4th one, which I'm doing with the help of this bar here. We use it as a tool. We stick the bar in the hollow stud, then we place the hollow stud, push the hollow stud down with a fingernail, and at the same time remove the tool again. And you can see that now we have turned the anti-studs into normal studs, which means we can now interlock it with other pieces, for example, this plate here. With the help of these hollow studs, we can interlock negative studs with other negative studs. Step 82. I'm not quite sure what we are building at the moment. I think some kind of clothesline. But what I want to talk about in the step here is that it seems that there is a little error. Have a look here at this olive green stuff. So we get this 1x2 plate with clip. Then we got a 1x2 plate with rounded corners. And then we got 2 of these 1x1 tiles with rounded corners on one side. But I don't think that we can connect the pieces with just one of those rounded 1x2 plates. Have a look here. So we get this piece here, then we had to connect the tile with the rounded plate like this, and the 1x2 plate with clip goes on top of it like this, and then this piece simply sits here. You can see this one is connected with the help of a 1x2 plate, but this one isn't. At least this little inventory box says that we are only using one of those rounded 1x2 plates. And yeah, then the whole thing is attached to the clothesline like this, and yeah, this would simply levitate, which it can't do. Well, what I'm going to do now is that I will use a second of those 1x2 plates here with rounded corners. And then I'm going to connect it to the rest of this little segment just I did with the first plate, like this. And now it's no problem to attach it to that bar. Hopefully this 1x2 plate here isn't needed in a future step. Step 86. We just have started to build a caravan, and in this step we are using one of the other special pieces which the Bluebrick company likes to use. It's a 2x2 plate with studs on both sides. So it's one of the other pieces needed for a technique to inverse the building direction. Step 106. In this step we are using another piece to inverse the building direction. It's this piece here. It looks a bit like a 1x2 plate with studs on both sides, but it's clearly thinner than a normal plate. So let's say I have a plate here next to it. There you can clearly see that it's way thinner than a normal plate. Step 1-11. Once again, the difference in the shades of the color here is quite visible. All these pieces are supposed to be in dark bluish gray, but this piece here looks clearly darker than those tiles. Step 145. We get to see another piece which the Lego company doesn't use. Another piece to inverse the building direction. It's simply a 1x1 plate with studs on both sides. Step 159. Many of the pieces come with ugly injection holes, but there are also pieces which look rather good. Have a look here at those ingots. I think the injection points are absolutely fine. Of course, those white dots are clearly visible. It would have been better if they were in brown too, but Lego ingots don't look better. Step 180. In this step we are building two segments, and right now I'm building the segment here on the right side. The instructions are a bit unclear. So for the segment we need 1x1 bricks with studs on the sides. We need one 1x1 brick with a stud on two sides and two 1x1 bricks with studs on only one side. So you can see here we got a 1x1 brick with studs on one side, and the 1x1 brick here on top has got studs on two sides. The problem now is that we can't really see in the instructions which of these bricks are the bricks with only one stud on the side, and which one is the brick with studs on two sides. The first 1x1 brick is easily recognizable as only a 1x1 brick with a stud on only one side, because the sides we can see here don't have any studs, which means there must be the stud on the other side. But the next two bricks aren't as easily recognizable. From this angle here, both could be a 1x1 brick with a stud on only one side or with studs on two sides. Well, I did it like this. So the first brick is the stud with only on one side, and the second brick here also has only a stud on one side. And I took the brick with studs on two sides as the final brick, because I think with doing it like this, the construction is a bit more sturdy. You can see here we got the brick which got only a stud on one side, this one here, and our little segment will be interlocked to this here is one of the walls of the caravan, like this. And I think the whole build is more sturdy when it is connected to the other build at both ends. We also could have connected it here and not there, but I think doing it like this will make the build a bit more sturdy. Well, it seems I was talking rubbish. Have a look here. I tried to interlock our two segments, but this doesn't work. It's no problem to interlock the first brick, the brick which only got a stud on one side, but we can't interlock the brick which got studs on two sides. You can see here that the stud interferes with an anti-stud. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to replace the 1x1 brick with two studs with the one with only one stud. Yeah, that's the solution. Now I'm able to interlock the two segments with any further problem. Step 189. We have completed the caravan and already placed it on our build. And now it's time for some more landscaping. Step 250. In this step and in the previous steps, we have built reed and placed it here at the shore. But I think it's a bit strange in which order we have to place the individual pieces. So, for example, in step 215, we had to place this part here. That one. Why? It's way easier to place this one after you have placed that one and not the other way around, because, yeah, you have to get with your fingers in there. The same here. We had to place this one here after we have placed this on that one. And yeah, that's just a bit strange. Step 216. Here we got a problem with placing the plants again. This year is absolutely fine, but that one here isn't reachable very easily. Oh, step 216 is also the set's final step. We have completed the build. And the scenery really looks lovely. It looks like a fun weekend trip to a nearby lake. Well, then I would say let's have a look at the details. So, first of all, we got the water here in the front. Here's the lake. Then there's not too much beach area. I guess it's only supposed to be some earth. And yeah, as you can see, everywhere is grass growing. So it's not a sandy beach, it's a grassy beach. Here we got a little pier with a fishing rod and a bucket, a lot of reed, some rocks, smaller rocks, a beautiful tree here in the back. I really like it, with a lot of plants down here. It's a micro jungle. Then we got these bushes here. By the way, I really don't like the bushes by Chinese companies or brick producers. Blue Bricks or Modbrix, whatever. They use these bushes here, and I don't know, compared to Lego bushes, they don't really feel good. And they don't look as nice as Lego bushes. But they do the job, so it's okay. Well, then we got this here. I'm still not sure what it is. Maybe the owner of the caravan is drying his clothes here, or maybe it's even food. You can see that here we got fish which are drying. Maybe these are some plants in which he wants to wrap the fish. I don't know. Well, then we got a chair with, I guess this is supposed to be a can, a drink, whatever. A little table, and my guess is that this is supposed to be flesh and that this here is a grill. So you can put, meat, not flesh. You can put the raw meat on the grill, and yeah, maybe this is a fork or something you use for the grill. I'm not sure. Here, just in front of the caravan, we get these black things here, and I'm not quite sure what those are supposed to be. My guess is that those are shoes. And then here in the front of the tow bar, we got a toolbox and a tree stump. Below the sunshade, we see another table with stuff on it, and the door to the caravan is open. And yeah, on the back there's not much going on. But from here we can have even a better look at this cool caravan. Well, let's have a look at the caravan. We can remove it very easily from the rest of the build. It's only attached to this single 1x1 round plate here, which is attached to one of those anti-stats of these other plates here. All right, here in the back we can see that our caravan comes with lights, but what is missing is the license plate. At least it has got a window through which we can have a look inside. Yeah, it isn't really visible on camera, but you can have a look inside the caravan from there. Here are more windows. And there's no window in the front. But I like the tow bar here. This is really well done. Then we got a door which we can close or open. And we can also adjust the sunshade here slightly. And we are able to have a look inside the caravan. And I really like the method how this is done. The construction technique for these. You can see that we can open the caravan like this, and this is really, really cool. Well, then inside we got a bed, I think. Here in the back is a couch with a little table and a cup. Up here are cupboards. Here's a little kitchen, I guess. Yeah, it's been a few decades since I had been in a caravan. As a kid, I have been in a caravan many, many times. My family had a caravan, but they sold it about 30 years ago, I think, so yeah, it has been quite a while. Here is a little table next to the bed and front of the window. And yeah, it looks like a little comfy caravan. What you hear squeaking the whole time, those are the caravan's tires. What I don't like so much about the build is that we got these huge gaps here, and they could have been avoided very easily. So, when we have a look here at the ceiling, we can see that we got lamps here, one is there, and next to the lamps we got these hinge plates here, and those interfere with the cupboards. So when we remove the hinge plates, we should be able to close the whole build properly. Let me try this out. Yeah, that fixed it. So without these 4 plates here, there are no gaps, or they are way smaller. I think now it looks fine. Of course, the walls of the caravan are not really attached to the roof, so some kind of gap isn't avoidable, but it makes the gap at least way smaller when detaching these pieces here, and it doesn't really make the build much less sturdy. So you can see everything still keeps together. Alright, then let me turn off the camera for a second, because I think I will need 2 hands to reattach the caravan to the base of our diorama. Alright, I have reattached the caravan. I think the problem why we still get this little gap here is simply because of the sunshade. It's a bit too heavy for the wall, which isn't attached to the roof. Without the sunshade, we wouldn't have a gap at all after removing these pieces here. But I think I can live with that gap. And yeah, if you don't like it at all, I think it should be possible to support the wall, or better, the wall from inside, or maybe you can build some kind of connection between the wall and the roof. But this also means that you aren't any longer able to open up the whole build here. Well, but all in all, I really like how this build looks like. The colors are very pleasing to the eye. It looks really sunny, it looks like vacation. This is really cool. The build, besides this part here, is totally sturdy. I showed you during the building process how sturdy the base here is. It isn't wobbly, my table simply isn't plain. Have a look here. Now it doesn't wobble any longer. And yeah, it's just incredibly sturdy, and also the tree isn't fragile at all. It's a really sturdy tree, and it looks beautiful. Sadly, there are several of those ugly injection holes visible here on this green area. But I think here's going on enough so that those ugly injection holes don't distract one too much. It was quite easy to build the whole thing. In most cases, the instructions were absolutely easy to follow, and yeah, I like the build. I'm not quite sure where to place it. When you place it in your shelf, you might look at it from this angle, and I'm not sure if this is the best way to display it. I guess best you have a look at it from slightly above, like from this angle. And this means that, yeah, you shouldn't put it too high up in your shelf. Maybe you just put it on a table or on a lower shelf. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I will put it at a lower area of my shelf. Alright then. I really like the build, and I think when you put it on your shelf, it always will remind you of vacation.